The following episode of the Carnival of Randomness is sponsored by an important message to you, the people, from Upsitnik and Associates. Every day there are forces that are taking from you, stealing from you. Your money, your time, your freedom. Immense faceless corporations, banks, credit card companies, insurance providers, government agencies, this list goes on and on. When you are under attack and facing crisis, turn to us, Upsitnik and Associates, attorneys for you, the people. When every day becomes a battle, we can advise and assist. We have been advocates for 40 years. Email us through upsitnikslaw.com or call us at 1-866-391-3299 or reach out to us through Upsitnik and Associates on Facebook for a prompt, no obligation communication and consultation. Don't be pushed around.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Carnival of Randomness. I'm Rob. I think that's Zach over there somewhere.
Hello.
I saw Michaela Davis a little while ago, and what she did was she told the audience it was somebody's birthday. Somebody went up and told them they sung happy birthday to her. And I remember many years ago, Greg Townsend did that for me, and I could barely walk home because so many people wanted to buy me drinks. So the motto of that would be, if you want to have free drinks, have somebody sing happy birthday. Unless you were at a Gothic Toad show, because what I've heard was they would just kick your ass out. Yeah. And speaking of that, we have Jeff and Dave. Can you say is that true or not?
It's absolutely true.
100%.
It's like, it's your birthday, you're not upstaging us with your birth. Get out of here.
Well, that's exactly it. You're taking away from
the awesomeness.
Trying to steal the thunder.
Right.
Gothic Toad was never about you, it was about the toad. And you tried to insert your birthday into our celebration. Get the fuck out of here.
But
we don't need your shit.
We have to just say Antonio Brown.
Oh, you get involved. We were talking a little off mic, but my God. And, you know, even when he quit the NFL, air quotes, I said to somebody, I said, as long as he has access to Twitter, the drama will never die. And it hasn't, because the English paper incident, the constant everything, the deposition meltdown, it's like, what the hell's coming next?
He's done. Who's going to sign that guy?
You know what? I told you a while ago. Eventually, this investigation into him is going to end. And then I'm thinking week 12, week 13, we're going to see the headline. Dallas Cowboys sign Antonio Brown for playoff run.
Yes, no.
You don't think?
No.
I think of the teams left, they're the only ones that would gamble.
The Bengals.
I would.
Could they afford him, though?
I would bet against that, and the reason why I would bet against it is he's been on 3 teams.
In 1 year.
And all 3 teams, he's killed their locker room.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really say he did that for New England.
But given the chance, he would have.
Well, no, you can't say that.
You can't really say it because he didn't do it. But he was on 3 teams. Wasn't truthful about stuff going on. He's broken the law a few times. You know, in one, recording somebody without their knowledge in California and then posting it all over the internet. And then supposedly sending threatening text messages to somebody that's accusing him of something. I don't see any team wanting that publicity nightmare. I just don't.
But actually, you know who will sign him? The XFL, because they need the publicity, because they're gonna last even a shorter amount of time than the AAF did.
But I thought they had some rule that you can't have like a criminal record or something to be in their league. I could have sworn I read something about that.
I think the XFL is kind of an interesting thing. I mean, their commissioner, I believe, is Oliver Luck. And
yeah, you're right.
It's kind of funny how his son Andrew just retired.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that if they do make it through 1 year and Andrew Luck sits out for a year, I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up in the XFL.
And I will tell you that, because I was thinking about it when he just up and left and screwed Indianapolis. If he ever plays football in the NFL again, won't be for Indianapolis.
They never asked for his money back.
No.
For their money back.
Which I'm kind of shocked by.
How much did he make? Like, how much did he actually
50
get?
Something, wasn't it?
48 million.
48, yeah.
But they never asked for back. I just think, like, if he comes back, I think he comes back to New England.
I could see
for
him
the
going to
Colts
New
and
England when
keep
Brady
playing.
retires.
No,
Watch it when they go.
I don't know, man. A lot of people in Indianapolis are pissed.
I
maybe
think
because
they
they live in
understand.
Indiana.
I think just the way it was
But,
handled.
yeah.
I think they understand. I mean, the guy's been hurt I don't think he's ever had one healthy year,
Right.
and the team never really did enough to protect him.
No, they
But
couldn't.
that's also, that's like your GM. That's a GM issue. That's the ownership issue. Every player wants to make the most money possible, and you're going to try to get the biggest contract, whatever. But I sit back, and I look at like what Brady does. Like, defer it. I don't need
Takes
to.
pay
I
cuts.
don't take a pay cut just so he has guys around him that
Yeah,
can protect him.
But that's the thing. He
help
realizes
the team
he's
win, like-
he's ancient and he's immobile. He needs monsters to protect him. Otherwise, he's going to look at what Buffalo did to him
Yeah.
back in week 3. They lost the game, but damn, Buffalo ran him ragged.
They always do, though.
And
I mean,
you can see it in his face. He gets rattled once. He is flustered for the entire game and gets
Well, a
angry.
lot of them with this line, he can be back there, blow a kiss to Giselle, look around, throw a pass. The way the
Yeah,
line
because
is.
he's always,
With him, he's never the highest paid player.
No.
Never has been.
He's the team first guy.
He's the team for everything falls off of him on how that locker room runs, how that team runs. You need more people like that as opposed to Dak Prescott's now going to be the highest paid quarterback.
But
if
for
he
what?
was, yeah, but what did he do?
But I do have to say, I'm surprised the great and powerful Belichick didn't conform Antonio Brown the way he
Well,
conforms
that's the
everybody
thing.
else.
Usually they bring guys in and they're productive. LeGarrette Blount, but he was good for the Patriots, nowhere else.
Yeah,
but
well,
then
James Harrison.
Well, the Patriots
pile.
released him as soon as the second accusation came out.
Yeah,
he
they
never
were
had
done.
a chance.
Yeah.
They just
But there was no way that Belichick would have conformed him because everybody said, "Oh, John Gruden's going to whip him into shape." No, he's not. He's going to cowtail to him like every other coach would have.
Well, I go back to the Aaron Hernandez thing before they even
Oy
knew.
vey.
No, but before they even knew, they just got rid of him. This is before they even knew the stuff came out. They're like, no.
Wow, but you go back further, right? The guy had issues when he was at the University of Miami.
Florida.
He was in Miami.
No, Hernandez was Florida because he hung around with Tebow.
I thought it was Miami.
We could look it up.
Or whatever. It was a school in Florida.
Which tells you all you need to know about what's coming up.
Florida.
But he had gun issues when he was in that school.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody knew he was a talent, but the Patriots took him, and Patriots knew his issues. Like, Patriots will take guys who have issues, and they do it. They've done it. They will continue to do it. They don't care. I was living in Massachusetts when
Florida.
that whole bullshit. All right, University of Florida. Sorry,
Doesn't
Apologize.
matter. Jeez.
University of Florida, Foxborough campus.
they're both the same in my book.
But I was in Massachusetts when that whole bullshit went down, and yeah, they were right. Like, you're gonna keep that guy around? Really, dude? You're gone.
Yeah.
Like, you're definitely not making practice because you're sitting in jail. Yeah.
Ill-stated teams right now. What's wrong with the Vols?
Oh wait, no.
There is but with Hernandez,
He was
there's
just
a
hanging
really
around.
good podcast.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'll look it up. But there was a really good podcast done by a reporter on the Boston Globe, specifically around that.
But like that, Dave, what's wrong with the Vols this year?
I think the expectations were a little too high going into the year.
Looking for a win is kind of tough.
Yeah. I think the quarterback situation was worse than expected. I think Pruitt and the coaching staff at the university led us to believe that Jared Garantano was doing better than he was. And I think yesterday's game, the kid Maurer who showed up, I wasn't able to watch a good chunk of the game, but I thought he looks promising going forward as I believe he's a true freshman.
But did they not beat Chattanooga?
Yeah, probably.
Because
that's their one win.
Because on Mayor Glenn Jacobs of Knox County posts on his weekly updates that he made a friendly wager with the mayor of that county.
You mean Mayor Kane?
Yeah, Mayor Kane.
Right.
Involving a case of moon pies because they're made in Chattanooga. So not only did this other mayor send him a case of moon pies, like, they gave us a pallet of moon pies.
Perfect. Perfect.
And he said it was almost a half. It was 974 pounds of moon pies that they went and distributed all throughout the schools in Knox County.
Yeah, it's it's. I mean, I love the University of Tennessee, but I'm not one of those people who lives and dies by it. I mean, it doesn't ruin my week when they lose. I don't affect the outcome of any game as much as I would like to think I would.
Well, maybe your support would,
Well,
if you were more rabid in your support.
If you would wear that bright orange, man.
I do wear bright orange on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
I fly University of Tennessee flag outside my house on every Saturday. When I watch a game in my house, I have a University of Tennessee football that I almost throw at the television quite often these last
That's
few
why you got to
years.
get the
Is the rug white and orange checkered?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh,
It's usually stained with spilled beer and wine. And
What would be a good
All right,
drink?
so
What would
you're
be
more
orange
like in
and
the
yellow?
stands kind of guy.
Yeah.
With the spirit. Yeah, okay.
Well, what about the Steelers?
I'm just glad even though when we're recording this, it's the day of the first Steelers-Ravens game. I'm glad it's not on TV because I don't want to have a heart attack.
Well, Landry Jones is with the XFL now.
Yeah, Landry Jones.
I think he was the first person to
He was the
sign.
first person the XFL signed was Landry Jones.
But will this finally be the end of Tomlin?
No,
Unfortunately.
no. I mean, that's not how the Rooneys work.
and I don't think it should be. Let's face it.
He's a Jets fan.
Well, I don't really follow the NFL that
Oh, yeah,
much.
I know you don't follow it anymore.
Well, if I was a Jets fan, I wouldn't either.
I don't think it's fair to release a coach right now because his star quarterback went down. Look at the losses that they had during the offseason. I mean, you can't replace a Le'Veon Bell and AB. I mean, you should be able
it was
to,
easy to replace Le'Veon Bell because he didn't play last year.
Right.
My issue is clearly he did a good job managing personalities. However, he let those personalities really negatively influence the locker room, which the amount of talent that they had, they should have gone to the Super Bowl at least a few more times, and they haven't. I don't think the guy or his coaching staff can game plan to save their life. However, with Mason Rudolph now playing, the game plan against the Bengals, I thought was spot on.
Yeah.
And
open up the defense. Let the kid throw, though. They've got to let him go deep.
No, hold on. Occasionally go deep. Yes,
Yeah,
occasionally go deep. Not let's go deep every fucking series like Ben Roethlisberger. I sit there and I watch it. I'm like, okay, if you would have called games like that when you had AB, when you had Le'Veon, when you had Ben Roethlisberger in there,
God,
holy shit, they would have crushed everybody. But hey, it's Ben Roethlisberger. Well, hold on, I'm starting myself on my fantasy league, and I'm going to need to throw this 70-yard bomb on first down. Okay, great, that's fine. You did it once. You don't have to do it every first down. But this can be a rough. Let's put it this way:
a rebuild year.
Thank God hockey started.
Oh God! See that's and now
I don't think the Penguins are going to be.
And now
we're
we're in that weird short time period where all four pro sports are going at once.
Yeah.
You could skip baseball for
I'm not a baseball fan.
But I was going to say, unfortunately, I think the Penguins are
really
going to suck this year.
And they're going to have a tough season.
Yeah, they are.
But hockey, honestly, really doesn't start getting really, really interesting until end of February, March.
I was going to say March.
Then it's like, man.
Usually after Christmas for me,
Yeah.
I pick it up. But I did watch a little of the Sabre game last night. They look incredible.
I think the Sabres are going to be good. I really do
I do
think
too.
the
I think it's about time. They're
a young team.
You could see it coming. That you knew eventually they were going to bounce back.
I think with them, the window, because they are young, is they've got a short window because I think they're going to have a lot of big contracts come up all around the same time.
So they've got to do it in a year or so.
Maybe 2-year window.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
But the Steelers, I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth on giving up that first-round pick for Micah
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick.
I don't see that as that bad a move.
Well, hold on, because I go back and forth on this, because there's part of me that says, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good pick, but then you're picking somebody that's unknown in the NFL when this guy Fitzpatrick, he's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
So in essence, that's your first round pick.
Yeah.
It's like saying, we want a defensive back.
We've needed a defensive
We want
back.
a defensive back. Well, this guy's proven.
Right. We've needed a legit defensive back, so there's probably says, yeah, all right.
And he was one of the rarities that was himself a first-round draft pick and has proved why he was a first-round draft pick.
Right.
I remember when he came in, the day before that trade happened, I'm talking to a friend of mine, and she said, oh, Minkah Fitzpatrick wants out of Miami. Who do you think's going to get him? I was like, I don't know. And then I see 7-8 teams vying for it, and then I see traded to Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, holy shit!
They're lucky they didn't try to sneak in Ryan Fitzpatrick. Instead.
Yeah, that's what it's like. At least they sent the correct Fitzpatrick.
But I don't know, man. This season's just gonna be one of those.
It's gonna be a disaster.
I mean, you have 5 turnovers, meaning you created 5 turnovers against the 49ers.
Yeah.
You took the ball away from the 49ers 5 effing times. And you lost the game.
I will give Mason Rudolph credit that after that game, he went to Cam Hayward and apologized, saying, you guys did all that work for me. I'm sorry I didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So, you know what? At least he's showing some leadership.
Yeah.
Even though they had to ask him to calm down in the huddle. Because he was one of those rah, rah, rah guys, and like, just stop that. And he did.
Yeah,
but
well,
he's
he
showing
listens to his team, yeah.
He's showing some leadership in his young age. So props to him for that. And at least he admitted, like, look, I messed up. We couldn't take advantage of the 5 turnovers you gifted us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope they do well, but
then
they're not making.
But then
the
that game
playoffs.
against the
Actually,
Bengals,
just
Jesus
switching
Christ,
gears a little
that
bit.
was
I brought this up a little bit on Facebook a while ago. The days of Lakeshore Record Exchange.
Oh, I love that place.
And I remember still to this day, see how some weird things stick in your mind? You were waiting for Master of Puppets to come out. You went down there and you told them, no, I want Slim Whitman.
Oh, yeah. So the guy that ran that place, Ron Stein, no relationship to Ron Stein from Gotham.
Though there were rumors that Ron actually owned the store.
No relationship to Ron Stein of the leisure suit.
No relation.
I never knew his name. I talked to him.
But the guy was great. I mean, he owned this store, and it catered to music that you really couldn't get anywhere else.
And remember, this is back in the day when we couldn't just flick anything on.
You couldn't. Yeah, it was. You didn't have the internet. You couldn't find. You just you read some article in some like Kerrang or some magazine, or somebody saw something, or you saw an album cover that you thought was really cool. But if you were at any other record store, you'd have to buy the album. He would put it on, play it. I really like this. I want to buy it. And then because we would go there literally every Saturday, we'd come walking in. There'd be 3 of us, 4 of us, sometimes 6 of us. We'd come walking in, and he would go, "Okay, here's 4 albums you guys have to have. Like these are new stuff. You need to listen to this." I mean, that's how we heard about Metallica. That's how we heard about Megadeth. I mean, that's how we heard about all of these bands was from him.
One of the ones was he knew King Diamond.
Oh, he was really good
because
friends
he
with
told
King
me you're going to go
Diamond.
see the King. He was telling me because he gave me that album and I was like, he said, you're going to go see the King when he's playing at the arcade.
He would stay, like King Diamond would come to and stay at Ron's. Would stay at Ron's house. I mean, he loved. And then he ended up moving. Ron Stein sold the business. They actually moved. Then they moved Record Exchange to Monroe Avenue. I would still go there, and it turned into like more like new wave.
Yeah. Because I drove by.
But he moved down to Dallas where King Diamond was.
Because I remember I drove by it and I thought, this can't be the same place. Is it the same store?
Same store, but they changed like who they were marketing to.
Just catering to a different crowd.
Well, and I guess I have to say that what you were describing when you come in, it's like, you guys have to have this. That it's not dead, but it's more of a rarity these days when you have such a relationship with a store owner that you come in and they know what you want.
Right. I mean, when I tell you we were there every Saturday, it might not be the same group, but there's probably 10 of us.
The core group.
Yeah.
And
core group.
somebody within that 10 was there. And he knew. Like, he'd be like, these are the 4 albums, and like one person would buy album 1, another one buy album 2, album 3.
Well, the thing,
And next thing you know, the 10 of us, we'd all be like, okay, I got this one, man, it was so cool.
And records were not $20-$25 at the time.
well,
either.
and then
No.
also you think about the fact that he did that. Like, he came in probably to open up on Saturday, knew you guys would be in, and over the course of the week or whatever,
Yeah.
picked them out for you guys, knowing that you would want them
The other thing
on
with
Saturday,
him,
which
too,
is
is
cool.
he could find stuff, which was
Oh, yeah.
amazing. And he would tell me, like, oh, this is a really hard to get one here, and it would never be like a crazy price, though.
He'd have shit from Japan and Europe. You
All
could
those
get-
weird European and
Right.
Asian imports.
You know, you'd go to House of Guitars because it was just an experience going to House of Guitars.
It'd take you all day to find something.
Right, but it would take you all day to find something. You go and ask somebody, oh yeah, hold on, there you go.
When
Like,
Greg
I'm
was there,
how
he
the
would
hell do
know
you
exactly where everything
Like,
was.
how
It
do
was
you know
amazing.
this where the stuff is? But they were so big. I mean, you were walking in and they're going, "Hey Jeff, hey, by the way, we got in the new TT Quick album, and you need to check this out. You're really gonna
He
like
gave me
it."
TNT. It was the one that's like a Netherlands band.
Yep.
It's T&T, not TNT.
Yep. But I miss that place, man.
Loudness.
Loudness, yeah, that was some.
Because I went to see Loudness and Keel at the arcade, and I did because he gave me I got the album there.
Yeah, he turned. There was that. There was that. There was. Oh my God, the 90.5. There was a radio show on 90.5. I can't remember the name of it. Samino would know this, but it was at like midnight. It would start, and they would play all metal, really like obscure stuff. Dude, we'd be listening to that. Like at midnight, we'd turn it on. Like we were out someplace, turn it on in the car, and the guy running would. And by the way, the guy running it would get all his shit from Ron Stein at Record Exchange. It was cool, man. But that was kind of one of the things that was really kind of unique about that time.
Yeah, remember Metallica was not the Metallica you know now. This was like a cult band, and they recorded Kill 'Em All in Rochester.
Yeah.
But it was a band like it was Ride the Lightning, and this was like you would hear about them from these magazines like Diamond Head, all this Celtic Frost, Merciful Fate.
Well, that was the other thing. Like you'd get an album, you'd buy an album, and while it's playing, you'd read like the liner notes and all this stuff, right? And seeing if you knew anybody, and it would say special thanks, and it would have bands. And you're like, oh, I never heard of that band. So next time you went to the record store, you'd look for the band. And back then, it would be like, unless you were at Record Exchange where they could actually play it for you, you'd be like, if the album cover looked cool.
Yeah, you're buying it on spec.
Right, you bought it because the album cover looked cool.
Oh yeah, I always did that. But that's actually the first place I ever was into Iron Maiden was actually House of Guitars because I saw an album, somehow it was there, and I saw a picture disc. It was like, and that's why Iron Maiden was my band. Then.
Best album covers.
Oh, without a
God.
doubt. Without a doubt.
I actually got the picture disc where they do the version of Smoke on the Water and King of Twilight.
Yep.
And that's when I got them. And then that's where I got like a Maiden like headband.
What was the first album you ever bought on your own?
Oh, you don't want to know, do you?
Sure, absolutely.
Best of
It
Apple.
was the Grease soundtrack.
I wasn't far off, was I?
Hey, you know what though, man?
At
Foreman's.
Mine, I'll never forget mine was a double header because I had saved enough money. I was able to buy 2 albums. Was Street Survivors by Skinner and Billy Joel's 52nd Street. I think was
Those
new.
are 2 really good albums.
Yeah,
You know the other
and I
place
bought those at Sears.
You know where I used to get my albums all the time? My mom, for some reason, had a
Woolworth.
thing about making tea. She would get distilled water for, I don't know why she would get distilled water for it. We would go to Gold Circle. And I would go, and everybody had at the time the ELO album that was like $2.99 because of the little spaceship in it.
Yeah.
So my first album, and I got it was Styx, was the first one that I bought on my own. And I want to say it was Renegade, but I don't know if that's the name of the album.
Pieces of 8, Cornerstone, Paradise Theater.
Renegade, the official theme
What's
song
the
of
one that's
Steelers?
got like fuck, I'm looking it up right now, man. which I couldn't even spell renegade. Fuck that up.
That's not
Styx region.
That's not the name of an album. I don't think.
What about you, Zach?
Honestly,
I said it might not be the name of the album, but it was a Styx album.
Equinox.
No, I do have that though.
when I was in high school, the first one I bought on my own, it was on CD though because it was in that period when vinyl. It was Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
That's a great album.
You know where I got that? At Sears.
Yeah, I got mine at oh god, it wasn't an FYE. It was something. It was some local like FYE type chain that's been long gone. But I remember we went there after school one day because the strip mall that it was in was real close to the high school. And I was like, and I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, dude, Iron Man, I love that song. And that's why I bought it.
The first CD I ever bought was Peter Gabriel's So.
That's actually one I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Sledgehammer.
No, I remember his.
Yeah,
Oh,
first
But I don't
CD.
remember. Yeah, Red Rain, all those.
Sledgehammer is such a great song.
Because he had so many.
It's a great album.
He had so many CDs, he didn't even name them at the beginning. Then he finally named it So.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the first CD I got.
But no, that was the first CD.
It might have been Queensryche Mind Crime.
First CD?
Yeah, I think it might have been Mind Crime.
Wow.
But the first vinyl I ever bought, it was off of the Kratzman. It was and I only bought it, and this is what started it.
Pieces of 8. Styx Pieces of 8.
It was the Bongzilla CD because it was a neon pink glow-in-the-dark LP. That's the only reason I bought it. Like, dude, it's a glow-in-the-dark record, and it's called Bongzilla.
Talk about glow-in-the-dark records always brings me back to the Dead Milkmen. And the most politically incorrect song ever.
I know it. Does it have Zoo in the title?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I stopped at this.
It is an awesome album.
I can't remember.
And a funny song.
It was it's this tiny little record shop on Monroe, like way up by like Goodman. I can't remember. I went in there and I was like, holy shit, they have the Crucifix. So I bought a couple Crucifix albums from that guy.
Some of this stuff you would just buy on a whim just because it look cool, names sound cool.
Suicidal Tendencies. I did that with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that band.
Yeah, they were unknown up here. Nobody. It was so long ago that I bought it, and the album cover. I bought it on the album cover.
I can't even. I'm still trying to think what first CD I bought.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I couldn't even answer that one.
I think it was Operation Mind Crime for me, maybe.
Right, but here's a good one for you. So, my youngest goes to high school. Goes to school one day. Comes home. He's like, "Yeah, Dad, I had a conversation with the principal about Iron Maiden." And I'm like, what? He goes, "Yeah, well, I wore the Iron Maiden T-shirt to school." And so he wears the shirt to school, and the principal goes, "Are you just wearing the shirt, or do you know the band?" So my son goes, "Well, I went to the concert, and in August I went to the concert." And the principal goes, "Oh, I used to love that band." So my kids, they started talking Iron Maiden.
You know what's next, don't you? Tie it all back to the last episode.
So now he's telling, oh God,
Oh, no.
had to go there. So now he's telling me, he goes, "Yeah, it was me and the principal, man. We're like tight. Like he always comes in, he talks Iron Maiden every time I see him now. Like, all right, that's cool." But like,
I don't know if we had anybody in ours, like anybody who was a fan, who was a teacher or anything. I don't ever remember.
I have no
I think they were
idea.
more squares, as you would call them then.
So we went to the show. I don't think I've been on since that show.
No,
So we went to the concert.
I was there.
I bought, both my boys. My brother brought his youngest, who literally just turned 10. And Sheldon was there, a couple other people. And we go, we drive there, we get there early, we're okay, great. And we get in, I'm like, okay, you're getting a shirt. So my 10-year-old nephew and my brother are up at one of the merchandising booths. And this guy's got this old leather aviator's cap on, the goggles, right? He's right from England. He's got the accent. And he doesn't see my nephew because my brother's looking at some stuff, and he's going to get him a poster for his wall, for my nephew's wall. He's getting him, and all of a sudden he sees my nephew. And he goes, Is this your first Maiden show? And he's just, my nephew's just like looking at him like, who's this guy with this weird accent, right? And my brother goes, yeah, it's his first show. He goes, mate, you're gonna love it. Everybody remembers their first Maiden show. You are going to, this is an experience you're never gonna forget. My nephew slept through just about the entire concert.
I know.
How could you sleep? I mean, just noise alone.
So we had phenomenal seats. I mean, we were 20 yards from the stage. Seats. Unbelievable. Opening band's playing. My brother's like, dude, I got to get some earplugs for... He gets earplugs for my son, and he goes and get guest service and gets them. So they're standing there watching the show. The Maiden comes out. He watches the first one. Okay. He watches the first song. He watches the second. And he's like, okay, I'm not standing. He sits down, and he goes to sit down. And right when he goes to sit down, this banner comes out, and they're going to do Trooper. And my son goes to sit down. I go, you're going to want to stand for this. So they both stand up. And that's when Eddie comes out. So now the show's really starting to... So after that, my nephew gets in the chair, and he gets in this little ball. He's got, the earplugs, and he just fucking falls asleep. He slept from that moment forward. But from that moment on, my son stood the entire and watched it, and he's like, oh, my God, they were awesome. That show
I saw
was
Alice
phenomenal.
Cooper this summer, so I finally saw him.
I went to that. I took my dad.
I've been wanting to see him for years.
Well, have you seen him before?
No, I always missed him.
Okay, so didn't think he was that great. I actually thought he was terrible. I had seen him late 80s, early 90s, thought he was great. But I got to give the guy credit. He's like 72.
Yeah,
The fact that he's out there doing
And he's
it.
probably playing golf beforehand.
Right.
He came here. He played
My
like,
father wanted to see him. I'm
or
like, Dad,
something.
he goes, oh, yeah, because my dad knows him from the 70s. I go, he's not going to be playing this stuff you want to. He's not going to play this stuff you. He's, I want to see him. I want to see him. My father went, bought a concert T-shirt, the whole 9 yards. My father liked Hailstorm way better than he liked Alice Cooper.
I remember my
Way
first
better.
Maiden show was Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Because
Yeah, that was mine.
my first big concert was
It was
actually
all of ours.
I think my first big concert, as I say, big, in War Memorial, was Ozzy's Diary of a Madman tour. That was my first show that I saw. Big
I mean, I don't know.
Which was the first concert you saw?
if you want to include it, my dad forced me to see my neighbors.
Yeah.
Well,
The
my
first concert
my
you ever
neighbors
saw.
forced me to go. Sort of, it was a thank you to see Up With People at Kodak.
I don't even know.
It's like a Christian band.
Oh, okay.
Up with what?
Up With People.
People. Okay.
I don't even know if I could like.
I saw
first
some at
show
the
that you went
festival
with your
time.
parents or
Yeah,
first.
first concert you ever went to.
I think Beatlemania.
Mine was John Denver.
That would actually be really cool.
It was so good. I've seen him multiple. Well, I'd seen him multiple times before he had his tragic plane accident. But it was very entertaining. He was very entertaining.
He's phenomenal guitar player, great songwriter.
I saw him on the Muppets.
Yeah, if you actually, that was about the time I saw him. With my best friend's parents took me, and they also took us to see Billy Joel's 52nd Street tour, which I was right around the
Well,
same
lately,
time.
like the last things, you saw something the other night, didn't you? Like around here in Anthology.
Big Wreck. And so Big Wreck is a American-Canadian band. They were a 4-piece. They're more like a 3-piece. They tour with 4. Unbelievable show. The guy that's the singer, guitar player, kind of the lead guy, Ian Thornberry. You listen to him live singing, and you'd swear to God it's Chris Cornell singing. I mean, and they crushed it. I would highly, highly, highly recommend going to see this band. Mike Shuttle's been on their bandwagon since the first time he saw them. The last time they were at Anthology, because his brother owns the place, and he'll show up, and who's this band watching? And he was blown away. So then they were coming back. He goes, Jeff, you got to go. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. I listened to a couple things on YouTube and stuff like that. So I kind of knew some of their stuff. But live, there are bands that they put out an album. Album's great. They play live. They suck live, right?
And then there's the other way.
They're terrible live. Then there's bands that put out an album and then play it live, and it sounds like the album, right? And they're like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then there are bands that just transcend the album. Like live is a whole nother experience than listening to the album.
Like the Grateful Dead.
Yes.
Yeah. The albums usually suck.
Right.
Yeah.
Big Wreck is that. They are a live band. You have to see these guys live.
My friend Michaela Davis is actually doing now, partly because she played with Bob Weir.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And she played with Bob Weir. Now she's doing a thing with her band Southern Star, where once it's her music, then she's doing the Grateful Dead music. And she's having a show up here actually next month. It's actually, I'm going to see her in Syracuse. And the day before she's playing here, but they're doing a Dead set. And I told her, any songs you could recommend?
Yeah, music. I mean, we tend to always talk about music when we're on this podcast, but I forget who the hell I was talking to. I says, everybody's complaining about streaming and it's impacting the artists negatively. So I try to go to as many shows as possible because this is where they're going to make their money. I'll buy some merchandising if I got some cash in my pocket.
It's like when I went to Nick Lowe. I actually met the person later on, but I talked to her because she was the opening act. So,
but the one thing that streaming has created, there are way more live shows now.
Well, yeah, because now they realize that they got to make their money through live shows.
Right.
So you got guys that would not normally tour that are out there.
So there are so many opportunities.
Pardon.
For people to go out and just experience different genres, just live music, man. Support it.
I'm going to see the Jayhawks in November, and
Love the Jayhawks.
I want to go to that. I saw you.
I would say if you want to go, get a ticket because that's that venue's small.
Yeah, and the thing is, I haven't even gotten a ticket yet.
Town Ballroom.
Town Ballroom.
But as soon as I saw that, I got tickets because I know that's very small.
I'm going in November. So I've got 2 shows I'm going to see in November. One's in Cleveland, King Diamond, bring it on, and then the other one's in Toronto, The Watchmen, which is a Canadian band that kind of broke up, and then they do there's some things here and there.
Related to that, one thing I wanted to ask you, we don't talk about television much stuff, and one time you told me, what was that show you really liked now that was on? There was some TV show you were saying you had to really watch. It was actually really funny.
TV show.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned it to me.
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of it.
Bauman said there's this really funny show, but I can't remember what the hell it was. Like, damn.
It was like a cable show. Bauman can't remember it.
I can't remember. Man, fuck, man, what? Shows that are funny on TV.
No, with some it was like a cable
show
you thought was really funny.
Yeah. Dude, I'm sure something will hit me at some point. But
yeah, you'll wake up at tonight. What time was it?
I will say the Amazon one, shit, the comic book.
The Boys?
The Boys.
Is it good?
Fucking awesome.
Is it?
I haven't started it
It's
yet.
on my short list of things to watch.
Watch it. I don't have cable.
You're a smart man.
So you stream stuff, but I don't binge watch. What I'll do is I'll pick a show, and I'm like, okay, that's my Tuesday show, right?
Well, that's the thing. And I had this conversation with many people about the binge watching thing. People bitched and complained that, oh, well, we have to wait till next week. And now all of a sudden we have the capability to watch it all in 2 days. And then they bitch and moan. We have to wait a year?
Well, it's like eating a whole chocolate cake in one sitting.
They have to make the show. They don't just shit it out. Some shows seem like they shit it out, but they have to literally make the episodes. It could take a week to film an episode.
But I don't try to binge. I will here's a Monday show, here's a Tuesday show, right?
There's The Good Omens on Amazon. Is pretty funny.
Yeah,
everybody said that.
Yeah, that was one of those. It's on the list.
I enjoyed that show.
But The Boys.
Yeah,
I binged that over a weekend. So fucking.
See,
good.
I think that show. This was years ago. Anyway, it's probably a couple of years ago. But we talked about this one. It was like about sports something about gambling or something. Sports agents.
First and 10.
No, but it was just. I remember you said it was. But anyways,
it's my biography.
Whatever happened to? Oh, jeez. Whatever happened to reading? We were going to ask that question.
You and I were talking in the parking lot. I said, when did it become uncool to read?
I don't think it is. To be honest with you, I think people read than people just don't
on the
talk
whole.
about
But sometimes you hear people like, "Oh, reading. Who has time for that?" Like everybody. And I will not go the ebook route.
I do both.
I do both.
I can't. For me, like, I know we got my mom an e-reader, which is fine because when she was traveling a lot, she can't take all her books with her.
Older
so she
people
has
can't hold a book
Yeah.
a lot of times because of arthritis.
Well,
Right.
The other thing with those e-readers, you can make the font a lot bigger.
Yeah,
It makes it easier
and
for
you know,
them to read.
but I remember
need
people
that.
were making arguments with me about it. Like, dude, just leave me alone. You can have your ebook. I just don't want one. No, I'm going to convince. Okay,
It's
well,
a personal choice. I mean,
like, well, good luck. It's like,
look, there's pros and cons to both.
he's
I
like,
mean,
well, look how easy it is to turn the page, and he swipes. Is like, swipe. Oh, I can lift a page with one finger too.
Well, I will say this: that when it comes to ebooks, the plus is that you don't end up with 50,000 books in your house.
No, that
way
is
to
very
get rid
that
of
is
them.
very true.
well,
but-
the other thing is if you travel, like for your mother,
Yeah.
right? You can have 5 books with you.
Exactly. So she does,
And
and
a
some
little-
of the books she reads are like the real big, thick biographies. You know, you can't schlep
the
that
Bible.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she actually.
Old Testament.
But because
for
It's a great book. That's a great book.
the sequel's pretty good though.
Yeah,
Right?
I've heard that.
no, because of
I love
her,
the
I
Old
actually
Testament. That's a great read.
because of her, I actually check the Bible in every hotel room I go in. Because one time in Vegas, she was on the phone arguing something with religion, went to the Bible, the Gideon Bible, opened it up to try to find a passage and found $300 in it. So every hotel room I'm in,
See,
I check the Bible.
when
the
you pray,
good
it
Lord
pays.
wanted her to gamble
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you found $300 in a Bible? She's like, yes, I did. So check the Bible in every
I
hotel
would
room
have gone
you're ever
right
in.
downstairs and put it on 00. I swear to God.
$300, I would have gone downstairs and go, hey, I don't like my room. Can you change me to another room and see if I can find $300?
Exactly. But
No, I mean, so all right. What's the
Well-
last book you read or a book you're reading?
Ole Anderson's autobiography, The Pro Wrestler.
All right.
I'm actually reading In Harm's Way, the story about the USS Arizona.
I'm reading Hellhounds on his trail. It's
Robert Johnson.
Oh,
No,
it
it's
isn't?
it's a story about what happened after Martin Luther King was assassinated and how they tracked down his assassin.
oh,
I just
so that would
started
be
it.
interesting.
My brother recommended it to me, and everybody he knows that read it said it's incredible. And I just started it yesterday.
Super Pumped. The story of Uber.
Huh.
It's really good.
Actually, one of yours, Zach got me this as a Christmas present. Your Carl Hayes on. The
Oh,
writer.
Carl Hyacin, yeah,
Hyacin. Love
I
Carl
got you.
Hyacin.
I got
Great
you a
guy,
book
by
of
the
Yeah, but
his.
is that all true pretty much about Florida?
Oh, dude, his books. Well, even the movies they make about his shit are good.
Yeah, I'll give you another guy if you want to read some really fucked up shit. This guy's name is Tim Dorsey, and his first book is called Florida Roadkill.
Oh God,
Oh, I got it because of you.
And
I'm
usually,
writing that down right now.
I swear to God, I've got every book this guy's ever written. He's that incredibly gifted, and the bad guy is actually the hero, and he's such a fucking nut, and he kills people in the most ingenious ways, but it's always for good. I mean, if it's for the greater good of the population, I highly recommend it. It's goofy, it's funny, it's irreverent. It's like this.
Yes. I was going to
What are you
say.
telling us, Dave?
Yeah.
We're
What
all
are you
in
getting
good
at
shape.
here?
I was going to say, going back to concerts for a minute, because we were doing sort of those. What's like one of the worst concerts you've seen where you just go, "What the fuck did I spend my money and time at for?"
I have two. I saw the Kinks where they walked off stage very early in a set, and Robert Cray, who I loved at the time. Worst concert ever.
Worst concert ever.
Wow, that's a statement right there, folks.
No, the Kinks are hit and miss because they could be fighting.
So you're talking worst
well, you saw it
worst
sucked.
concert or worst band scene wise?
Well, you could see. Well, the band could be really bad, but were they good in concert?
Well, no.
Whatever you want.
So
you
the
know,
reason I'm
random.
saying it is because I've seen shows where,
The band has an off night.
well, it's not like there's 3 bands on the bill, and overall, 2 of them were unbelievable, and one of them
Well, that's
was
fine.
like,
And,
all
you
right.
know, we're not like strict in this.
So I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers were headlining
Not a fan.
with Smashing Pumpkins opening up, but the special guest opening up before any of them was Pearl Jam.
Awesome.
And they just I'm like 2 days before the show released 10. This is like when they were just coming out. Pearl Jam, unbelievable. Phenomenal. Smashing Pumpkins, biggest waste of time
I've
ever
heard that.
Dude, I think they actually quit. Like, the band broke up on stage in front of me. I mean, they were so bad, yelling at each other, screaming. Horrendous. You know, so there's part of it was like, it was kind of like watching a train wreck, but they were just terrible because they just didn't put anything into the show. I would probably go with that one.
Yeah, I have a couple. I can't put the bands on. I saw Crocus play twice. They opened up for. I know they
Never
opened up
saw
for,
them play.
They opened up for Def Leppard. They opened up for somebody else.
Oh, wait, did I see them?
They opened up for Def Leppard on the Pyromania tour.
Then I
think they opened for Triumph, I think. But what happened the first time, they were sort of on the rise, and I think they thought they were going to make it big, and they never really did. So when they came back, they just seemed like they didn't want to be there. They just sort of.
I just read they're doing a documentary. They're filming it, or they might have already filmed it, and they're pre-production on Triumph.
I think they're going back to old concert footage because I saw that too. Here's one for you. I saw, and in Lake Placid, I saw Triumph and Rush as a doubleheader.
Makes
in
sense.
1986.
Two Canadian bands.
It was. I also saw Charlie Daniels in Alabama there together, which is also a great
You saw
show.
Rush, Triumph and Rush in Lake Placid?
Yeah, together.
Wow.
Another one of my bad ones was Ryan Adams because I told friends I said this guy could be very weird. It doesn't tense. He played like 3 songs. Said, "Well, I haven't taken my meds in 3 days," and walked off stage. But then I saw him in Cleveland, and he was fantastic.
I actually saw Charlie Daniels at a fire hall.
That would be awesome.
He didn't come out until the sun went down because, as he put it, I'm old and fat and it's hot.
God bless him.
And he
can play.
He kicked ass.
He had a barbecue thing here, I think, at the Armory one time. They had like barbecue and Charlie Daniels, which I wish.
Oh man, I mean, if he comes around ever again, I'd go see him.
He was here
again.
last summer.
Was he?
Yeah, he was
still
in the area.
still plays. He's like in his 80s, I think.
Interesting Twitter follow, by the way, is Charlie Daniels.
Oh, I gotta follow that.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I've seen so many bands.
I know.
It's tough to.
And that's the thing. I haven't seen many, but I can't really think of any that were just horrendous, like just bad. A couple years back, we went to a show at the Blue Cross. The headliner was A Perfect Circle, which was the guy, the lead singer from Tool.
Great fucking band.
The opening band. I'd never heard of them before then or since then. Just shit. It was a thing called Burning Brides.
Well, I know who they are. I just know.
Oh my god!
And the reason I know them, I'll
They're
go back
awful.
to Jeff's point. I got their album because I like the cover.
Oh,
Now, here's one for you. This would have to be 86, 87-ish when Jerry Garcia was first sick. There was a band called Go Ahead, which was members of the Dead and Santana, and they played at the Old Country Warehouse. And I remember nobody knew who they were, so the crowd was very slow getting there. And I remember going in to take a leak and I ended up between Alex Lidgetwood, who was with Santana, and Brett Midland, who was the keyboardist for the Dead. And I'm going, nobody in a million years would believe this.
no,
You know,
I don't believe
here
it.
I am in some obviously big bar, but small in size compared to where those bands
Well,
were.
he saw Viggo Mortensen when he went to take a
yeah.
leak.
Viggo Mortensen was up at St. Lawrence. Pretty sure. I think he said he was there for like alumni weekend because that's where he went to school.
But I made you
St.
go in
Lawrence.
to go to the bathroom
Really?
and see Viggo Mortensen.
Oh,
I saw your Government Mule the other week because they played at Borderland Fest with the Kayla.
And actually,
So,
I
you
like the
them.
mule.
Yeah.
and actually walking to the bathroom at the field house at St. Lawrence, you walk past the picture of Kirk Douglas on the Wall of Fame.
Speaking of, since we're talking a little music here, what was your hangout like in terms of like going to clubs and stuff for music around here in the day? I know, Jeff, you used to hang out at the Bug Jar, didn't you, a lot in the 90s?
Loved the Bug Jar. When Bug Jar first came out, loved it. And it was a fluke that we went there. So I was still am the type of guy, like, dude, I refuse to stand in line.
I know
that. And I'm not paying a cover charge. Like, wait, you want me to pay you so I can go into your place to pay you to drink? Nope, not happening.
But you have ways to get out standing in lines, like who you identify as.
I mean, we always had ways to get around that stuff. But one day it was me and Pat Ball. We went out and we didn't know where we were gonna go. pretty much every Friday, Saturday night. We had no idea. We just head out and just go someplace. And we were going down Monroe, and Bug Jar, I think, it like just opened. And we're like, dude, let's check that place out. So we went in, loved it, right out of it, like from go. The decor, the quack.
The reason we found it the night it opened, I had friends I was meeting. They lived around like that semicircle by Woody's.
Yeah.
And it used to be, I guess the Bug Jar used to be Rosie's.
Yep.
And I remember we stopped there. We're like, what are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do? Well, there's a new place that opened. So we walked down there. We went in there the first night. It's like, goes in, dude, everything upside down in here.
Yeah. So it was just cool. And
it was quirky. It was
different.
And
the best thing was the people there weren't pretentious. You could have somebody in, just a ratty pair of jeans and a T-shirt, and somebody with like a shirt and tie. It was just like a really cool place to hang out. No,
they used to have Bug Fest at the Highland Bowl. The White Stripes played there one year before they were popular.
I might have. Moved,
they haven't done it.
Moved out of town.
Yeah, they might. That was like early, probably late '90s, early, because a lot of bands played there. They had those for a while.
Yeah, but Bug Jar. But prior to Bug Jar, it used to be Backstreets.
Backstreets is huge.
Backstreets is huge. I actually seen some real. Like I saw Soundgarden there.
You know who I saw there? Dred Zeppelin.
I saw them.
They were fun.
Which was, if anybody doesn't know, this was...
I saw Primus there.
Led Zeppelin done to reggae with toward Elvis.
Yep.
It's to an Elvis beat.
I saw some
I've got their
really,
CD.
really good bands.
Where was it? On Hamilton Street? Or that's the one thing I can't remember where it was.
Off Scio.
It's behind. Wasn't it behind the Boys and Girls Club?
Because I remember, like, when I would park, down and I would walk.
You got that parking garage.
I know a guy who used to own it.
It was on a side street.
Because I just remember parking and walking. I used to go to Richmond's.
You had like the bar area, and then they had like it was almost like the
bar,
garage.
then the stage.
Well, you had the bar and the stage, but then to the right you'd walk in. It was like they took a warehouse, and they had a bigger stage, and bigger bands would play there. But the best one that I saw, the biggest band that I have seen at a bar, was Fish.
I saw them
and it was at Water Street, and I think there were 20 people there.
No, there was more than that.
When I was there were like 20.
That was when. Well, I didn't. It was.
And it had to be about 1992. Yeah, maybe about that.
Because that was the year it switched over from the warehouse, the country warehouse. That was the last weekend of the country warehouse. Was Park? I think it was Park Ave Band. Fish, it might have been the week before they closed, and Max Creek were the three last big.
I remember Max Creek used to play here all the time, like everywhere.
Yeah, they still pop up every now and again. They're fun to go see. They're a fun band.
But I swear to God, there was like 20 people. There was like nobody.
It's like the
there.
Jayhawks when they played at Water Street in the '90s. Nobody was there.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I remember seeing REM at the was it Minette Hall back in. It was before I was 16, because I wasn't. I might have been 16, because I didn't have a car. I couldn't go, and I made my neighbor take me, and it was right after Murmur came out. So that would have been 80, 82, 83 ish. And that was small. It was fun to go see.
There used to be. I used to also hang out at Idols, which was on Liberty Pole. Yeah, Liberty Pole Way. I actually saw the original Red Hot Chili Peppers play there. The original.
It's really cool though, seeing some of these bands in the day, and then I saw them when they were just starting. And
yeah,
the Fish I'd seen in Vermont when I was in college.
No, that's an original.
Well, when I was in college, I had a neighbor who was from Burlington, and recommended that we all go check them out. And we went over one night, Better Living Through Chemistry, and enjoyed our weekend there. It was fun.
Burlington's a fun
Eating all
city.
that Ben & Jerry's ice cream, right?
Yeah. I actually applied for a job at Ben & Jerry's when I was getting thrown out of college. Because I had no plan. But we'd go to Vermont quite often because of this kid. We'd go hang out there.
I think a lot
I've been
of
there
times
once. It's
we have
really,
no
it's
plans
nice up
and
there.
It works out sometimes.
I like, they're one of the 3 states that has constitutional carry.
Yep. It's funny for
Why?
as liberal as they are.
Yeah, why Vermont? I mean, the other is Alaska, which makes sense because you can get mauled by a bear going to the grocery store.
Well, it's amazing how things
And I
change
think
because I
Oklahoma's
think
the other one.
Vermont was the most Republican state in the nation. Well, the first time I voted Democrat was for Kennedy in 1960. See how
Did they
things
vote
switch
for
around?
him, or did the dead people vote for him?
Well, I don't think they did anything in that state. It's too small.
But if you look at Kennedy and Kennedy's views, he's more Republican than Democrat.
yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You know, sometime we'll go on a thing about how the parties, about what the hell's happened to the parties and everything, and how people get elected and they stay in office for years. They never do anything, but they just get reelected.
Maxine Waters.
Oh,
Strom Thurmond.
Oh man!
And on that, I think on that note, I think I may have broken
man.
Bauman referencing Strom Thurmond. He was still in office up until 2001, a couple months before he died. Don't forget, he was at one point a Dixiecrat. And on that note,
I was gonna say, you guys ever want to try D&D? We have our specials.
you imagine? No, and there it goes.
Yeah, we do that.
Game over.
We've gotten into playing Dungeons and Dragons for this show.
Well, I wouldn't say gotten into.
Never got into that.
No.
Wasn't my cup of tea.
I did it once. The second time I do it will be the next time we film it.
Yeah. So next time we'll probably talk horribly what's wrong with the world and try to do it.
What's wrong with the world?
And what stories have come up by then.
Dude, you don't even need to plan for this podcast. You
Oh,
just
no.
wake up, quickly
Sit
scan the
down
news, and go, okay, we're
Well, I
going
was
to go.
thinking of that.
'cause-
That was the topic I was thinking of, how people get elected. They've never done anything, ever. They don't do anything, but they're perpetually elected.
My issue is just people that the whole idea about public office was go in, do your service, and get the fuck out, and go work in the private sector.
Yeah.
It was never meant to be a career.
Right.
No,
And
but yet-
they're all fucking lifelong shitheads. That
Yeah.
Back when I started in Congress, Hoover was president. You need to die. Like, literally.
like if you're running against an incumbent who's been in office for, let's say a decade, like your whole platform should be, you've had a decade and haven't fixed shit.
I would say,
Get the
look,
fuck out.
people who live around here, has it gotten better or worse with this person here? Have they done anything for you? Just because you know their name? Let's try somebody
No,
else.
Louis Slaughter. Lovely woman, but it's a perfect example of that just winning because, she's there
Because of the
already.
machine.
I know how it works. It's not working. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, get some new blood in there and fix the shit. Like, quit the bitching and moaning and quit the we can't let this party have a win and we can't have that party have a win. So we're going to obstruct what they want to do and we're going to obstruct what they want. Dude, just fix the shit.
Get rid of all the nebulous stuff about this or that.
Just fix it.
Unicorns, whatever else, and just go to brick and mortar and let's just fix everything.
I'm just sick of hearing about the same problems over and over again. Like really.
Actually,
you guys
I'll
have been
leave
running
that on a
this
note. One of my
platform forever.
friends who's 70 says he's not going to talk about politics anymore. He's a Democrat. The Democrats suck. The Republicans suck. He's been around 70 years. He's seen it for decades. It's the same old shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Nothing
That's exactly
changes except the person in the painting.
yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So
that
on that, we'll
philosophical
see you.
note-
We'll wonder what we'll do next. Who
Oh
knows?
God, who knows? Who knows
We'll
if
have Rob or John down too, and
we could have a Gothic Toad reunion. The
Christmas
reunion
album.
of the reunion.
The Christmas album.
Yeah.
Is there any hope?
No.
Christmas in the Swamp.
No, so we don't want to go. Look, I'll tell you a reason why we don't do a Christmas album. We don't want to go get involved in that whole political.
Oh God,
shit.
yeah.
All the
You'll have to
people,
call it
you
the
can't
holiday
do-
album.
right? It can't be called Christmas. It's got to be a holiday album.
Well, I still
And then,
play.
God forbid, we're not singing something about the holiday that you happen to like.
I
we
still
can't do it.
play Spinal Tap's Christmas with the Devil every Christmas.
Mine is actually on that. Mine is. What's the Run DMC song? Christmas
Comes to
Hollis.
Hollis.
Or Christmas Comes to Hollis.
Mine used to
That
be
one.
White Christmas, but that's now racist, so
Yep.
can't have poor Bing anymore.
Hold on.
what you gotta do is you gotta beat the
Little
night-
Drummer Boy with David Bowie and Bing Crosby is unbelievable.
And if they give you any lip, beat them with a sack of sweet Valencia oranges. Won't leave a bruise. It'll let them know who's boss.
What the fuck?
Thank you, everybody. I've broken the internet.
We'll have to have you for
You sure you didn't go to a Catholic school?
Show. We'll have to have you for the Christmas show. We'll have you guys back as always when you can come on.
Thanks,
and everything
guys.
else, and
That was fun.
any plugs, any weirdos, and I have something to say actually.
Go Steelers.
Actually, Matt, I went to see Nicola and Low Straitjackets, and Esther Rose opened for them. And she's a singer out of Louisiana. I got to talking with her, and she's pretty good. And she wanted us to play one of her songs, so I was going to play.
Thank you.
Lower 9 Valentine, and then we'll get flagged for it probably. Like
Of course, because we always do, because YouTube.
And she's really interesting, and she actually wants us to send us to her publicist. We didn't say anything too naughty, did we?
No, we really didn't. I'm thinking back. I don't think we said anything horrifying.
Oh, cool.
This episode, no.
No,
Other than
but
me
wait till the
channeling
next
Bing
one.
Crosby, telling him to beat him with a sack of oranges.
Or what was the one about the Kathy Lee Gifford one? Faster, Cody wants a pony.
Oh, God. And on that one. Sorry, Esther.
Yeah.
We'll hear from your attorney, no doubt.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
See ya.
I know you got some girls at home, please make them go away. Clear some room on top the shelf, I think I'm gonna stay. Won't you go and fix that lock, and won't you make an extra key? Hang some curtains on the window and stay at home with me. Be my lower 9 Valentine. Be my lower 9 Valentine. Be mine. Remember when you smiled and said things can't get any worse? Well, I got that lovesick fever and you better call the nurse. Oh, baby, please don't cry, you know I hate to see you frown. Won't you call